This is 8 Minutes of Awesome. I'm Jennifer Lipsky, and I'm so pleased to be speaking right now with Darakshan Farber, based in Ojai, California. Darakshan works to cultivate living wisdom, among so many other things. Good morning, Darakshan.
Good morning, Jennifer. So great to see you. I'm so delighted to be here with you today.
Oh, thank you. It really is a pleasure, and it's good to see you too. So, Darakshan, I know that you make genuine connections with people from all around the world, and you really embody that which you do, and you carry through so much good stuff to other people, including cultivating this living wisdom. So, tell us a little bit more about that work you do.
Hmm. Well, the living wisdom phrase comes from an organization that I'm connected with called the Seven Pillars House of Wisdom. And so that's one area. And it was drawn to that area, I think, sort of by my dharma, because I have been all my life a connector and a bridge maker. And the purpose of the Seven Pillars organization is to identify what is wisdom in the 21st century. What's coming out now? Where are we? We used to have houses of wisdom thousands of years ago that were created by kings, emperors, and that would generally be a place to be a repository of everything we knew in the form of a library, scroll, something like that. Now, today, can you imagine? Half the people on the planet have instant access to like all of the knowledge that we've ever gathered just through their little mobile devices. So, but we've come a long way. And we're entering kind of a new phase now, I think, where we're transcending the written language. We're going into a more visual time and more intuitive time. And people are waking up right and left. It's like popcorn, like popping. So Seven Pillars works with that, but I find myself working with that in a lot of different areas. And one of the things that I've discovered, well, let's just start by saying everyone has a gift. Everyone has some amazing thing for them to bring out. And that's why I'm really happy to be talking to you because you're here seeking that kind of work. And some of us have found it and some of us will be trying to find it, but just understanding that that's true and that we're all unique and we all have something different is part of this very shift. And I found in myself that one of my gifts, one of my uh, I don't know even what to say, but intuitively, I found that I just make connections. I make connections with people. I see the big picture, and I love doing that. And it's really exciting when that happens. And I like to say that we used to be like a network. We, whoever we are, we the people who are pushing towards the evolution of humanity. We're like, look, at one point 1,000 years ago, there was one person in the world at a time, and then 100 years ago there were dozens of people, and then 10 years ago there were thousands of people, and now it's like it's moved from a network to like a basket. It's all woven together so tightly, and I'm sure you've experienced this. That the synchronicities are just like pouring through. There's no time to be surprised anymore because the next one comes right away. So, I don't know if I answered what I do,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's what I do.
yeah, yeah. When you said about the basket woven together, yeah, I absolutely can relate to that. And in kind of in my mind, how I feel it is kind of like a tapestry of all different colors and threads and types and different strengths, but all together coming to make these incredible intersections and woven together does create this strong and powerful way of being, which
Hmm.
is remarkable. Really,
It
really
is.
beautiful. Yeah. So, but I'm interested to know, why is it that you do what you do? So you're a connector and you bring together people and knowledge. Why is it for you that you do what you do?
You know, um, when I was a boy, I was interested in computers and software because I think the reason I was interested is like, oh, this might explain who I am and how we think and all that. And that led to a career, pretty successful career in software. And at the same time, I found myself as a young adult interested in spirituality and stumbled into the Sufi path. Or I was guided into it, I don't know which, but I can't say I did a lot of shopping. I just landed there. And these two aspects of my life have been woven side by side. And um, I'm blessed that I have never really struggled to figure out what to do. I've just like trusted what happens and followed it. And I like woke up one day 5 years ago or 10 years ago and said, I keep I keep making these connections between people, and it's just such a blessing. And so someone else once told me that I really always come up with amazing metaphors, and I said, oh, maybe this is a quality that I have. I should stick with this. So I'm I'm doing what I think I'm doing is following the path of least resistance and doing the things that give me pleasure. And like I say, I've been blessed, but I also believe that when you do that, you become blessed. Things open up. Amazing things happen that you cannot explain. It's there's we've all heard of the law of attraction. What you think about is what is drawn to you. But there's another similar law, I think it's called the law of distribution, something like that, which says everything we need is floating around in front of us at all the time. And it's amazing, but when you think about it, that's how life works in every level, from your cells to an ecosystem. Is what is needed is generally there. And when we think about it too much, we can't understand it. But if we just relax into it and like flow downstream, things come to us. So
Yeah.
I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah, when you were speaking, that's what I was feeling. It's about being in the flow and really, releasing and accepting, saying yes, sometimes saying no, whatever is healthy and of best benefit for yourself and for others. So, so very important. Um, but even with going with the flow and having things, that kind of present themselves to you, there's still an inner source of inspiration, and an inner source of light, inner source of action that comes. So, what is your inspiration? Where do you draw?
Absolutely. I draw from the mystics, all of the mystics. I mean, which is to say, I mean, they are pointing to something that we each have inside of us. And it's the still small voice. When we learn to not pay so much attention to our chattering mind and our habits of survival, of looking out for ourselves and thinking about what might happen next. And we relax into it will be okay, I will be taken care of. Um, and we just listen, and we get really quiet and we just listen. And it doesn't come like a message. It doesn't come like well, for some people it does. Some people hear voices and whatnot, but it's just a sense. And then, to play with the sense, to make it up even. I'm not sure if I'm making this up or if this is an intuition, or it's a message from the divine, from my angels, whatever. It doesn't really matter. You play with it and you see what happens, and you start to learn when is it real and when is it not real, and how to trust it. And we have these incredibly articulate systems in the various cultures about what's going on and what reality is. And there's so many to choose from. And then there's just like knowing that you have source, you're connected to source. One of my teachers likes to say we each have our own supercomputer. It's incredibly powerful. And if you think about it, 99% of what's going on in your body and your mind, it's just happening, right? And you have these, once in a while you have an idea, but it's so little. And if we would trust our supercomputer, even more and just get out of the way and let it happen, amazing, amazing things just turn up. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like when you pause for a moment and stop and become very still to just even hear your own heartbeat. And so, you hear your heart beating, and then you can hear so much more, and you hear that, and then you also hear what fills the space between those sounds. And so, staying really available to hear and receive that is so important.
exactly, exactly. If you can imagine how it might feel to be a caterpillar and you've, through some obsession, you've wrapped yourself up in this cocoon and now you can't move and you start to melt and everything seems like it's falling apart. And how could you possibly have an imagination of what's coming on the other side? Uh, but if you just relax and trust it and do what you do with love. And uh, I think that that is the answer. It's all love. Okay. We don't know, honestly, whether the world, whether our world, let's put it that way, whether our world will survive, whether our individual worlds or our families or our communities or our civilization, but life will survive and we're all connected to life and we're all part of life. And what is happening in these bodies right now is like a dream in the midst of all of this life. So if you can find a way to have that experience, it's easier to relax and then just be with what's happening and be excited about what's coming. So there we go.
Mm. Darakshan, thank you so much. And for anyone who wants to connect with Darakshan personally, you can go to his websites, which is glenmuse.com and also sevenpillarshouse.org. So, Darakshan, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's been really a pleasure speaking with you.